coursework, struggling with complex concepts, and the ability to store and recall large amounts of information. This has helped me to speak four foreign languages: French, Hebrew, Spanish, and Japanese. In school, I became an oratorical speaker, competed in speech competitions, and joined a debate team. As a first-year debater, I was pleased to win an award in the Indiana State Policy Debate Competition. I participated in the mock trial competition and won my first case before Indiana Circuit Court judges. Because of this, I was offered and accepted a job as a junior bailiff for the Hammond, Indiana City Courts. During this time, I was accepted into the Indiana Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Humanities, a 2-year residential high school for gifted and talented students. Pushed to my academic limits, I eventually humanity has made incredible leaps in several domains as a result of globalization. People all across the world are connected in ways never imagined by previous generations. Not only does humanity benefit from increased communication on account of technological advances, the future human populations are connected by something else. For the first time since the dawn of humanity, a language barrier does not exist. Everyone on the planet speaks English. Globalization has greatly minimized the time-space continuum. What once seemed far and inaccessible is now at our fingertips. While no one can predict the specifics of the future, one thing is certain. One outcome of globalization is language extinction. This globalization of language has both positive and negative implications for the human race. This paper is meant to present a viewpoint that the author does not share. I will draw from a paper written entitled Gun Control: Understanding an American Public Policy Taboo, written for a policy studies course. In the interest of balance and intellectual honesty, arguments in support of the NRA, or National Rifle Association, will be presented. The NRA seeks to protect the rights guaranteed under the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. What are the views of the NRA? What are the reasons for supporting this special interest group? This paper will answer those questions from a pro-NRA point of view. However, despite France's appreciation for its place on the UN Security Council, its rapport with the United States is paramount. To illustrate this point, consider the following transcript from a Senate hearing where the Minister of Foreign Affairs discussed the situation in Syria. He said, "The chemical attacks, which France has condemned in the strongest terms, has marked an escalation in the horror of the atrocities committed by the regime. France has determined an immediate investigation and has extensively analyzed the evidence before it. While the situation seemed to have been held up in the UN Security Council, France and the United States threatened a strike on the Syrian regime." He concludes by saying France will spare no effort to reach a solution diplomatically. Here, the Minister of Foreign Affairs admittedly intended to bypass the Security Council by striking Syria alongside the U.S. He even equivocates by suggesting that the strike on Syria was a joint decision taken by both governments, and implies that the French government has comparable influence in world affairs to America's. This type of rhetoric by the French government is highly contradictory, because on the one hand, France manifestly has a great deal of respect with regard to the UN, although on the other hand, it demonstrates a willingness to oppose the international body if America does. Nonetheless, because the Foreign Affairs Minister notes the importance of the UN resolution and highlights France's participation therein, he demonstrates a certain notre existence. On peut y répondre à différents niveaux et l'envisager à partir de différents points de vue philosophiques, éthiques, spirituels ou comportementaux. Nous sommes le résultat en partie de notre éducation, de notre expérience, en partie de nos espérances, de nos réussites et de nos échecs, et en partie de l'action d'une puissance supérieure ou force vitale. Nous savons que nous avons un corps, un esprit et une âme, et nous nous posons souvent cette question.
La tête guidula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haaretzot, velo samanu kemishpechot haadama, shelo sam chelgenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים מעל
pervasive in modern society. We've even labeled cannabis users as degenerates because marijuana is erroneously grouped with truly dangerous illicit drugs. They say that those who use them are weak, lazy, and hedonistic. However, the evidence shows that cannabis is a natural plant with several therapeutic advantages. So while at the beginning of this paper I listed several characteristics that I found to be undesirable, I can't agree with pointing out undesirable characteristics. This is nonsense and can be dangerous. Today, I understand that these designations are frivolous. We simply must not judge, but change how we perceive each other and our world. In short, this paper gives credibility to the old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover, or, to articulate my own thoughts in the form of an adage, behind action is essence. What a person does is not. It was interesting to discover that Homer was not a single person, yet was the personification of a group effort. With this new insight, it's reasonable to assume that these individuals had a common purpose, much like employees of a business. Therefore, it would seem that such occurrences might even be commonplace. In my view, individuals often collaborate to produce a work or a product. One such example of this is the matrix business model, or the organizational structure that assigns specialists from different functional departments to work on one or more projects. The matrix organization in an aerospace firm, for example, may consist of manufacturing, design, engineering, legal, purchasing, and accounting departments. The result of this joint effort may be a single product that will hopefully generate revenue for the whole. I am an honest and awakened African-American, homosexual, Jewish scholar, lawyer, business person, writer. I am who I am only through study and through listening. Academic coursework, struggling with complex concepts, and the ability to store and recall large amounts of information. This has helped me to speak 4 foreign languages, French, Hebrew, Spanish, and Japanese. In school, I became an oratorical speaker, competed in speech competitions, and joined a debate team. As a first-year debater, I was pleased to win an award in the Indiana State Policy Debate Competition. I participated in the mock trial competition and won my first case before Indiana Circuit Court judges. Because of this, those offered to accept incredible leaps in several domains as a result of globalization. People all across the world are connected in ways never imagined by previous generations. Not only does humanity benefit from increased communication on account of technological advances, the future human populations are connected by something else. For the first time since the dawn of humanity, a language barrier does not exist. Everyone on the planet speaks English.
Qui suis-je?
Globalization has greatly
C'est la
minimized
question
time, space, and continuum.
fondamentale de toute notre existence. On peut y répondre à différents niveaux et l'envisager à partir de différents points de vue, philosophiques, éthiques, spirituels ou comportementaux. Nous sommes le résultat en partie de notre éducation, de notre expérience.
علينا לשבח לעזון הכל, לתת גידולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקראו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת תוזו ורבי מרומים.